Hey everyone, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's case is a case that several of you have recommended, one person in particular, which I really appreciate, and I'm sorry it took me so long to cover the case. There's just so many details, and actually it was very hard finding information. I'm going to give you all of that and leave information in the description as always. Today we're going to be talking about the disappearance of Kenley Matheson. His full name was Allan Kenley Matheson. However, he went by Kenley. This case takes us up to the Wolfville area of Nova Scotia, Canada. I'll have various maps up as always. Here is a general map just to give you an idea of where it is. It's south of Prince Edward Island. It is a very beautiful area. There are lots of things to go and do, tourist attractions. These are all pictures from in and around the area. Kenley disappeared or was last seen on September 21st of 1992 in downtown Wolfville. This is a picture of that actual street where he was last seen. This is a picture of Kenley. He was only 20 years old, going on 21. He was attending the Acadia University. From what he had told his parents and friends, he was a little bit nervous about starting this semester, or what they call the pre-freshman year. Kenley was a traveler. He loved to go on his own adventures, travel the world. This is a picture of his passport. He had been to many places. So he was a little bit, I guess, hesitant, as many college students are when they're first starting out at university. This is an aerial view of the university. He was only 2 weeks into his first semester when he vanished without a trace. When he arrived at Acadia University, he was assigned to one of the dorms. I'm going to have a picture of it right here. It's called the Crowell Tower. He was living in room 904 on the 9th floor. He had met several people, but one of the people in general that he met that he became good friends with was a man by the name of Tom Gordon. Pictured here, he was a student from Great Britain that had come to study at Acadia University. He also met some other friends. They started going to places called the Look-Off, which is an area that has beautiful views. He just started finding his niche. They also went to various other places. This is a view of when you're standing on parts of the Look-Off. They also went to areas called Three Pools. This is a picture of Kenley in around the time. Coming up, I'm going to have a picture and map of the area of Three Pools, which is an area where they apparently love to go to, love to watch the waterfalls, and also love to go swimming. This is a picture of one of those actual waterfalls and pools. I'm going to have another picture coming up right here. In some areas, the water was rougher, in some areas it was calmer, but this was one of their favorite hangout places. Kenley, Tom, and a woman named Kirsten had all become very good friends. And a weekend leading up to his disappearance, they went to this island, which I'm going to have a map up right here, called Corcoran's Island, which they did everything from swimming and jet skiing. This picture right here is an actual picture of them jet skiing the weekend before he disappeared. They all had a great time, as reported by the witnesses that were there. He was supposed to be in his chemistry class that coming week. He was not in that class. He was also not reported to be seen in his calculus class. This raised alarms with Kirsten, some of his other friends. Also his sister, Kenley Matheson, who was also attending Acadia University with her brother. They were very close. She didn't hear back from her brother, so she asked some of her friends, his friends. They said that they had seen him near the Wiles laundromat, which is pictured here. It's apparently still in operation. Here's another picture of the actual laundromat. They found this to be odd because the tower which he was living in had its own laundry facility, so they didn't understand why he would have gone out to do laundry somewhere else. According to the research and witness testimonies, all his friends, the Friday before he disappeared, Crowell Tower had this Big Bang party, which apparently numerous people attended, including Kenley. From what I read and have heard from the interviews, it got a little bit out of control. There may have been some controversy over Kenley possibly getting a little too drunk and maybe hitting on another person's girlfriend. Some of this could be hearsay. It's just impossible to know for sure. His best friend at the time, Tom Gordon, was out a couple days later and swore that he saw Kenley at this area on Main Street right here. In his statement, he said that he saw him walking towards an ATM machine, a bank about another block away. Meanwhile, the police were called, the local police, that is. The RCMP were not involved at the time. Unfortunately, the police and everyone else did not treat this as a crime scene. They just thought that it was a college student that maybe needed to blow off some steam, or something had happened. He had gone off on a weekend trip himself. The RA of Crowell Tower, Todd Baker, pictured here, he did have keys to all the rooms. He cooperated with authorities. He also reported saying that he saw Kenley that Sunday before in his room ironing. I bring this up, I'll explain it later why that makes some sense or makes no sense, but this case, because it's so old, witness testimony can be jaded because people's memories do fade over time. The Matheson family was, of course, very concerned, so they had him officially reported missing. At the time, he was 5'9", 150 pounds, brown hair, green eyes, and again, September 21st of 1992. This is looking down on Main Street of when he was supposedly the last reported sighting. This is a picture of the local police department that was handling the investigation from that point moving forward. The family was, of course, upset that the RCMP did not get involved at first. Like I said, no one thought that this was anything but a college student just going off to do something that he wanted to do. So all kinds of rumors started going forward. There is a bar called the Anvil Bar that all these college students, including Kenley, like to visit. This is a picture of the actual Anvil Bar. It's a sports bar. Things tended to get out of control at times, from what I understand. So there were theories that maybe he got into a fight with someone there, something bad happened. Some other witnesses say that there's so much farmland, it would just be very easy to dispose of a body. There are also massive amounts of wetlands and shore inclines where he could have fallen. No one really knows. These are all statements that were given to police. But I will say that the original statements given to the RCMP, when the RCMP finally did get involved, and also to the Truro Police Department, all those original statements have never been released to the media. Then came the theory of Andrew Paul Johnson. Andrew Paul Johnson was a serial killer operating in and around the area. This is a picture of Andrew Paul Johnson. He was eventually captured and is now in prison for life. This story, of course, made news all over Canada. He was thought to be in and around Corcomb's Island at the time when Kenley and his friends were there. This is a picture of that island in and around that area. After time and research, it's very unlikely that this was possible. Months later, a man by the name of Ian Stillwell, who reportedly was a friend of Kenley's, said that he had gone camping with Kenley in the Annapolis Valley, which is located in this map right here. He said that he had seen him. He had also seen him in the Halifax area of Nova Scotia. He was very adamant about his convictions. However, this really made no sense to authorities because this occurred months after Kenley had gone missing. I'm going to have more maps up because I know this is very confusing. This is the city of Halifax, which is the capital of Nova Scotia. It's a big city. He was said to have been seen in this club called the Palace Club, which is no longer there. This is a map of the supposed various sightings of Kenley over that next year. The next sighting was reported by a woman named Cindy. She was living in a town called London, Ontario. This is a map of that area. The dot represents London. This is a picture of the area where she was living. She got a knock on her door. According to her, she said she rarely opens the door for strangers at night, but this young man seemed very nice. She said that he was very calming. He was reportedly working for Greenpeace. He had a very good attitude about him, so she let him into her apartment. She said that they talked for a while, and she just said that he was just a wonderful young man. She thought that he was just a guy working for Greenpeace, but in some odd way, she was distantly related to Kenley. Now, this is an actual road going back from London to the Nova Scotia area. This was all documented, of course. She went back and she was visiting some relatives in Great Breton Island, pictured here. There was a picture on the wall of Kenley. They had a discussion. She said that she for sure saw this young man at her home, that he said that he was working for Greenpeace, that she was absolutely positive that it was Kenley. She said a bunch of this other spiritual information, which was recorded in this documentary, which I'm going to have a link in the description. Personally, I don't believe this is a confirmed sighting because there's just no way to actually confirm that it was actually him other than her saying that she thought it was him. And even in her words, she said that she wasn't 100% sure. She just felt the spiritual feeling that it was him. The documentary is called Missing Kenley. Like I said, I'll have the link in the description. You can view it on Prime. This documentary brought up more interviews from his friends. Kirsten Thompson, who is pictured here, she was one of his best friends. Tom Gordon, who is pictured here. Tom Gordon, according to him, he kept a very accurate journal of all his times during college and during this time. And of course, Todd Barker, who was the RA of Crowell Tower during the time of his disappearance. I just want to go ahead and say that through all their testimony and investigation, there have been a lot of things that have been said and then things that have been said again that didn't really make sense. Tom said that he saw Kenley going towards a place called Nolan's Canteen, which is apparently near a bus stop in the Wolf area, thinking or trying to imply that maybe he was heading out of town. It's hard to say, really, in this case. I'm not implying anything. This is a picture of Tom Gordon and Kirsten. They were also very good friends. I will say that they all took lie detector tests or polygraphs, however you want to say it, administered by the RCMP. They all passed these polygraphs. The one important piece of information that is apparently now up for interpretation is Kenley's backpack. He had two backpacks. One was his school backpack and one was his traveling backpack. Since the original officers didn't photograph the room, it's impossible to say. Plus, we also don't have access to the original statements, but some people say that Kenley's backpack that he was never seen without, his school backpack, was seen in the room after he disappeared. Other statements say that it was not. According to Tom Gordon, when he reported his statement of seeing Kenley for the last time on Main Street, which we have discussed, he was wearing that backpack with his Lakers baseball cap, which he was apparently always wearing. When the investigators originally got to Kenley's room when he was reported missing, nothing seemed amiss. The bed was unmade, all his stuff was there except for his shaving gear, which they found odd. Throughout the years, the family has talked with psychics and various other people, private investigators, all kinds of individuals. Unfortunately, Kenley still remains missing to this day. Just recently had another search which took place in the Melanson, sorry if I mispronounced that. It's a wooded area in the area of Wolfville. I have a map here to show you how long it would take to walk there. They brought in special cadaver dogs because they thought maybe he had gone up there for a hike, possibly had become injured, maybe disabled. From the research, again, from what I could find, the cadaver dogs did hit on something, but there has been nothing found or recovered to this day. There is a network of trails. Just so many possibilities of what could have happened to this young man. If you want my personal opinion after watching all the interviews, you can watch them for yourself and determine for yourself what you think, but I believe that some people are lying, and I think that something happened the weekend that they went out to Corcom Island. That's just my opinion. The RCMP is now fully invested in this case, as well as the local police department that was originally handling this case. In this most recent search, which occurred in the last few years, many entities were involved, including the police, St. Thomas University's Anthropology Department, Acadia University's Earth and Environmental Science Department. According to what the investigators say, in September of 2022, they had a plea for information from the public, which unfortunately did not result in any new information. On May 29th of 2023, investigators did receive a call from a journalist hoping to schedule a meeting regarding this investigation. Police say investigators learned that the journalist had taken part in a search on May 23rd and 24th in this area of the Melanson Mountain. Although the dog indicated an area of interest, the RCMP said that no human remains were indicated. These are just some pictures of the walk that Kenley's family and friends did to try and help support and fund the ongoing search to bring Kenley home. This is Kenley. He was a very smart young man. He had his whole life and future ahead of him. I can't imagine what his family and friends have gone through. Of course, I want to dedicate this video to Allan Kenley Matheson, his mother, his sister, his friends, his family, everyone who knew him, everyone who is still working so hard on this case to help find answers. And I do believe that in time we will find answers and this case will be solved. I want to thank you all for watching as always, and please leave me comments, any feedback you might have on this case or other cases or case suggestions. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I hope everyone is doing well. Those of you that do have a long weekend, I hope you have a great long weekend. This case, as is with so many, is very tragic. I hope and wish that the family does get closure soon. I am working on a bunch of other cases that you have all submitted to me. I ask for your patience. I'm just doing them in order and trying to do the best possible research that I can. I thank you for all your comments and support. If you'd like to donate to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Anything goes such a long way. I'll have all that information in the description. The last winner of the coin still hasn't gotten back to me. I'm going to leave her information or their information again right here, so please let me know. All you have to do is send me an email. It's in my description. If you don't want it, just let me know so I can pick the next winner. This is a picture of me in my aging years, and I just hope I will see you in the next one. Sorry, some of you asked for another face reveal, so here it is. See ya.